There are no happy endings. Endings are the saddest part. So just give me a happy middle and a very happy start. Happy New Year, everybody. It's Jeff, and welcome to my kitchen. No, we are not going to cook. Actually, we are going to paint. And no, I am not going to teach you how to paint. This is not a PBS show. I do not have an afro. So I'm doing this painting, it's for a silent auction. And I haven't painted in a long time, and I'm actually ashamed to say that, but I just haven't. There's no excuse for it. But by doing this today, and you know, I'm kind of on a deadline now, but I work best when there's a deadline. It has reminded me how therapeutic it is for me, and I really need to get back to it. We all need something in our lives like this, I think. Even if I'm just painting a wall in the house, it's very therapeutic for me. I feel like I can think about things and I get calm. So if you don't have something in your life that does that for you, I highly recommend it. But that brings me to what I really wanted to talk about tonight. And it's a subject that nobody likes to talk about because it's a subject that still really is not talked about as much as it should be. And it's depression. Yay. Such a fun subject, I know. But there are a lot of us out there that suffer from depression, and I said us. You know, mine is not a constant depression. Mine will come and go. Lately it seems to come at the weirdest times, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I have suffered from depression on and off probably since I was a teenager, and that's going to be probably news to some people in my family, and I'm sorry that they're hearing it this way. Some members of my family know what I've kind of been going through and feeling lately. So I want to tell you about first the depression that I went into when I went into the hospital when I was about to be diagnosed with stage 3, almost 4 testicular cancer and kidney failure. Now, I mean, obviously, those are pretty heavy things. So, you know, some depression is to be expected. We didn't know how bad my cancer was yet, but we knew it was cancer. And that alone was scaring the shit out of me. From literally the moment in the doctor's office that they said they thought I had cancer, I pretty much started crying. And I cried, it feels like I cried for at least a week straight. I remember just laying in my hospital bed and playing out the worst case scenarios, and it always ended obviously with me dying. And I think, you know, death just and depression just go hand in hand. They do. Whether it's your own mortality that you're facing or the death of a loved one, um, death is death. Just like depression sucks, and I just all I kept saying over and over again was, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And no one would really give me a straight answer. In fact, I would ask the doctors, just tell me, am I going to die? And they would be like, say stupid things to me like, well, I just think that when you get out of the hospital, you should just go outside and get some sunshine and enjoy the outdoors and just take in nature. Which automatically made me go, I'm going to die. So, things like that were not helping me at all. Um, and it just seemed like a week of every day they came in my room with more bad news. And finally, uh, all the doctors were in my room, and it just seemed like my bed was just had people all the way around it. And they were just giving me the lowdown and the rundown of how things were going to work and what this was and blah, 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 and all. And I was just laying there in my bed, listening to everyone, looking up at everyone, and just weeping. And one of my doctors turned and looked at me. He was standing right next to me, right next to the bed. And he turned and looked down at me and said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Because I don't want to die." And he said, you need to get into a better frame of mind. And you need to start telling yourself you're going to beat this. Otherwise, yes, you are going to die. Literally, from that point on, anytime that I started to feel depressed and sad and wanting to cry, I just had to make a joke about it. I had to use my humor as a way to battle this. So I did. I made horrible jokes about my cancer. Some people did not know how to handle that, and that was their problem, not mine. This was my cancer, so I'm going to make jokes about it and, deal with it. And if you can't, don't. There's the door. But yeah, so I started dealing with it that way. And really from that point on, that's how I started dealing with things. Um, it all goes back to that whole, I can only worry about today. I can't worry about tomorrow because it's not here yet. I can't worry about yesterday because it's already over. All I can do is worry about today and get through today. That's all I have to do. Um, so yeah, even now with my medical problems and my financial problems and blah, 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 problems, I just, I am going to handle what I can handle today, and what I can't will be there tomorrow. And I will handle tomorrow when it gets here. And in the meantime, I'm going to laugh as much as I can. And I'm very fortunate to be in a relationship with someone who I can make laugh and who makes me laugh. We laugh a lot. And if you don't have someone in your life like that, I really suggest you go out and buy one, because you need to laugh, and you need to laugh with someone. It's just, I hate to say it, laughter is the best medicine. And now I feel like a PBS show, and like I should have an afro. You know what? With that whole situation, I learned to deal with it. That's how I deal with it. That's how I deal with my dialysis, all of that, because he was right. He was right. If I stayed in that frame of mind, I was going to die. And boy, what a rude awakening. Talk about just totally getting yanked out of my pity party. But that's exactly what I needed. And I tell you, that was some of the best advice I've ever had. It was blunt. He just looked at me like, come on, man. And then honestly, after that, I felt like, come on, man. I'm on the transplant list now, and I found out that my job is actually going to be extended. It was supposed to be a temporary job, and now it's going to be extended for like another year. Yay, that makes me happy. Transplant list, yay, that makes me happy. All of these things were, just falling into place for me and happening, and and I literally felt like I was walking on clouds. And then all of the sudden, out of nowhere, boom, depression. And it was really just brought on by thinking about the transplant and the whole process, and I'm going to have to do this, I have to start doing that, I need to get this house in order. Just all of these things just started banging into my brain and pounding my mind, and it just, before I knew it, I had slipped into a depression. And all of those things that I was thinking about with the transplant and all, every bit of it would end up with a bad scenario of me playing out, well, yeah, I'll get the transplant, but watch, with my luck, the next day it's going to go into rejection. It was things like that. And of course, that then again throws me back into that depression of mortality and death and all. And it just really sucks. Then on top of that, you've got, this pandemic that's affecting everyone. Well, we've kind of got a surge going on right now, and there are more deaths. And, I know people that have someone that has died. I know people that has someone in the hospital. I know all of these people that it's affecting, and I know that is getting to a lot of us also. So, I just want you to know that I know. And I know that there are a lot of different things out there that can trigger us. And don't be ashamed if you're feeling this way. You're not alone. I hope you realize where you are in this depression. If it's bad and it can't be fixed by just getting it off your chest in a video diary or talking to a friend about it. I know it's hard. I know. You have to let down some walls. I know. I just did. And believe me, it's hard for me. I internalize. I like to handle things on my own privately. But I want to do this for you also. But yeah, know where you stand. Know if you need to really go and talk to someone about your depression. And like I said, there's nothing to be ashamed of. It works. Trust me, it works. So yeah, I'm concerned about a lot of my friends right now, because I see it in their conversation. I hear it in their conversations, and I see it on social media, and I know I feel it too. And I hope that you can find something like this that can be a distraction for you. And I hope that you can find happiness and that you can talk to someone about your problems, be it a friend or a therapist. But do it. I mean, don't try to be a superhero and handle it on your own. Know when you can no longer handle it on your own. When things are feeling out of control and you can no longer do it on your own. So, a quick, funny story. So this last time I was feeling this depression and I thought, God, why am I feeling this way? Talk about screwed up. I mean, feeling all of these things happening with the transplant list and my job and all of these great things just boom, 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 falling into place. And then, now I'm feeling depressed. What is that? Where did this come from? And so when I was at dialysis and my doctor was making his rounds around to all of us, because he does that at dialysis because we can't run away. But he came to my chair and, we talked about, all my levels and all of that good stuff. And then it came to the part of, do you have any concerns, anything, any questions, things like that. And I just thought, just say something. So I said, I'm depressed. And I need to know if this is normal in this situation that I'm in. Have you seen this before? Is this something that I should be battling during this time when I should be so happy? And he said, well, how bad is it? What are you going through? And I said, well, I think about dying a lot. And I shouldn't have phrased it that way because I meant I think about my mortality a lot because of all of this. Because of all of these medical problems, it's forced me to think about my mortality. But no, I said, I think about dying a lot. And he said, have you done anything to hurt yourself? I just thought, oh my gosh. No, I have not done anything to hurt myself, although I'm kind of thinking about it right now. No, I didn't say that, but see, that's my humor coming through. So anyway, I need to paint on this, and quite frankly, you're distracting me. So I am going to bring this episode to a close, and I want to thank you all for joining me. And hey, thank you all for the response that you gave me on my last video. I really appreciated that. Actually, a lot of you reached out to me, and it just really kind of seemed to strike a chord with a lot of you. Again, the nostalgia, the going back to your childhood and having to deal with the things that have changed and the things that are no longer there and missing and all. And so, yeah, thank you for going along with me on that. And thank you for the feedback. Again, I really appreciate that feedback. So I saw something the other day and it really hit home with me. And I thought that would be a good way to end today's episode. So here it is. And, again, if it applies to you, great. If any of this has applied to you, fantastic. If not, thank you for letting me get it off my chest. But yeah, I saw something the other day and I thought, boy, that really hits home. I needed to hear that. So maybe some of you need to hear it too. So here it is. As long as we are feeling pain, we are still alive. And as long as we are making mistakes, we are still human. And as long as we are trying, then there is still hope. So, I have hope. I hope you have hope too. And I will see you next time.